don't get the one about timeout. I'll just tell you, all of you, any new parents out there, skip the one about timeout. It's a waste of time. Don't buy into that nonsense. Timeout is useless.
I haven't gone through that.
It's actually dangerous.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
I have heard about it from you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why it's dangerous. I didn't read about this when I did get a book, because it was like, I picked up this book and it's a bestseller. It's got over 2 million copies sold. I was like, oh shit, timeout. Maybe that shit works. Let me go read about that. And I'll tell you this, after trying to implement it, man, I realized how dangerous it can be. The reason it is that, 'cause you imagine you already have a kid that's crying their head off.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then you tell them, you go into this room, you stay there until you stop crying.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you go to maybe like what we were doing, we were closing the door. Okay. So imagine this, you're going to close the door. Your kid is running after you because they're having a fit, reaches out while you're closing the door, tries to grab the door.
Yeah.
Right. That is super dangerous, man.
Yeah.
And, that's exactly what naigani natanaw ko sa obos. I saw her hand come around the door and I was like, oh.
And
wow.
this was a few years ago?
When she was 3 years old.
All right.
When she was 3 years old, yeah.
Mostly.
I was trying to practice timeout, and I that was the last time this is dumb. Okay. Like they didn't tell you, and they didn't give you any warning about that one in the book.
I wonder what the research shows, though. Yeah, I wonder what the research shows about that.
About
method.
timeout?
Yeah.
Apparently it's a dying practice.
It's a dying practice.
It's a dying practice, yeah.
It's just like genital mutilation or something. Yeah, because it's a very convenient way of disciplining your kids. It's just like smacking them on the head.
Yeah.
Because this is one way of just shutting them up. Right now, I need some time for quiet time for myself. Shut the F up.
Yeah.
Go to the corner or whatever.
Stop crying.
But what you don't understand, or what most of us don't understand, since we forget that we were children once, we were teenagers once, is that being on that mindset, if you can only remember, I hope, even I forget a lot of times. I don't even remember that, but I can only imagine how I think confusing it could be for that being, that human being that's there. Yeah, man. It's just sensory overload.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. What is this that I'm touching right now? That's why they're so curious. I'm touching a surface. Oh my God, I'm putting it in my mouth because I'm trying to feel it.
Yeah.
Because my fingers are not that developed yet. That's why a lot of infants put things in their mouths, because mostly the lips are more sensitive than at that stage in their development than the fingers. So they would put things in their mouths. And when they start walking, they would be cruising using the furnitures, right? They would be walking and just slowly navigating their way towards the environment. And when they fall, they cry, and they would just constantly be just on you. Just like, hey, help me get this thing. I want to see this. I want to look at
Thing's
this.
shiny over there.
Yeah, I want to smell it. I want to taste it. And you're busy with your work. Most of us just do that, just shove them off. It's like, oh, shut the fuck up, man. I'm trying to do something. Your mom and I are having a fucking argument. Don't fucking bother me. Yeah, but if you only try to put yourself in their perspective, it's like how confusing it would be. That's why they're trying to tug into dear life when they're tugging to your mommy's legs or your legs, or trying to just be comforted. Because we're alone. It's the same feeling. If I have to go back to the macro thing, it's the same feeling I have now as an adult of not knowing whether we're alone in the universe or not.